Hello and welcome! Thank you so much for clicking on this video. As you know by the title and thumbnail, I'm doing the art style challenge, so I'm going to be doing 6 different art styles. Right now I'm just doing my own style. I'm drawing my OCDello. I didn't really like how this drawing came out. I think it came out as a good drawing, but it doesn't really look like how I imagine this character looking and how he's supposed to look, but I've only ever done one other drawing of him, so maybe this is how he looks. But yeah, that's not really what I want. All of the other art styles I'm doing are art YouTubers. I chose my 5 favorites. I was going to do 9 different art styles because I thought it would fit better on the page like vertically, but I could only think of 5 YouTubers I wanted to do, so I only ended up doing 6. So I'm just lining now. The main thing I don't really like about this drawing is that I think I made him look too old. The character's supposed to be like 15 or 16. I haven't fully figured out everything about him yet. He's fairly new. But he looks like an adult. I think it might be that I made him look too muscular, or I think his face is too short. But yeah, I'm just shading it in now. I'm doing it in more of a painterly style. I started doing this style of digital art more recently, and I really like the way it looked. I really like how I shaded in the face, like the nose and cheeks I think look really nice. I'm just blending now. In all my old digital art, the blending looks so rubbish and it just looks so streaky, but then I figured it out because it was a tip from an Instagram artist that I followed, absolutely amazing. I'll put her username on screen. I can't think of what her name is right now, but she posted a thing about how to blend properly, and I had my flow of the smudging brush like all the way up to 100%, and she said to put it down to like 10 or 20%, and I did that, and it's so much easier to blend. It looks so much smoother, so I'm really thankful for that. But yeah, I'm just doing the collarbone area now. I love drawing that like collarbone shoulder bit. I don't know what it is about it, but I've always just really enjoyed drawing that bit. That's why I always do busts, because I get my 2 favourite bits, shoulders, face. Yeah. I think another thing that contributed to him looking too old was 1, the cheekbones. I shouldn't have made them that defined, and 2, I think I over shaded the face, like the smile lines and lip area makes him look more like a 30-year-old than a teenager, so, but that's okay. I'm just doing the eyes now. I'm doing them in a bit of an off-white colour, and yeah. And now I'm doing his hair. His hair is a bright orange, and I know that people with his complexion don't normally have natural orange hair, but he's not human. He has like powers and stuff. I'm not gonna go into his backstory because it's not fully figured out yet, so it's gonna sound really dumb, but he has fire powers, so that's why his eyes and hair are bright orange. They are naturally like that. So I'm not very good at drawing hair, especially short hair. I'm okay at drawing long hair, but short hair is quite difficult, and eyebrows too. They just, whenever I do them, especially digitally, they just look like clay. But yeah, when I finished colouring him, I adjusted the colours a bit, you can see there, and I kind of regret doing that. I made him a lot darker and his also brighter, so the skin looks really orange, but I didn't notice when I had done that. So when I come back later and made it less saturated, his hair just looked quite bad because it's supposed to be very bright orange. But yeah, I don't fix it now, so the skin looks really orange, but I do fix it later, and now I'm having heaps of highlights and a black border around the thing. I always do this with my drawings, especially traditionally, not always digitally, but usually. They just don't look complete without it. I don't know why, but yeah, I always add a thick black border around. And he's done, so I'm just writing the title up the top so I know which one it is. And now on to the next one. The next one I'm doing is Lavender Town. I love her videos. I watch them all the time and they're really useful. She has a lot of tips. Her style is very different from mine, so it was quite difficult to get right. I think I did it okay though. I think it looks quite good. I wasn't sure whether I wanted to do her comic style or her like illustrative style. They're both very similar, it's just the comic style is more cartoony and exaggerated, so the eyes are a bit difficult. I was going to do some fire in there to represent his fire powers, because that's something she often does in her comics. She'll like replace the pupil with like a shape or object that describes the character's personality or something about them, or something about how they're feeling, but it didn't really look good since I'm doing more of her illustrative style instead of her cartoony style, so it didn't really fit. The line weight was quite fun to do. She uses a lot of line weight in her line work, so it was fun, and I think it looks really good in the end. So I'm just thickening up the lines here. I don't use a lot of line weight. I'd like to, but I'm rubbish with black brush pens, and I don't have a stylus. I just use my finger, so there's no pressure sensitivity, so adding line weight in digital is a bit difficult. I made his skin colour a lot duller and a lot lighter, because Lavendertowne often relies on pastel colours. So I was a bit worried about doing this because I didn't want to make him look like he had lighter skin. I wanted him to still look like a dark skinned character, but yeah. So she often uses a combination of soft shading as well as cell shading. So I'm just doing the soft shading first on his cheeks and ears and collarbone. The soft shading, the shading she does is often a lot warmer and brighter. I don't think I pushed it quite enough. Doing the cell shading now. I'm not good at cell shading. I don't do it. I prefer soft shading, but I think it looks so good when people are good at it. I'm just not good at it. And now I'm doing the hair. I also dulled that down quite a bit. I think it's actually a really pretty colour, pastel orange. I love pastels. But I think that really helped to make the skin, to make him look like he still had the same skin tone, because before I did the hair, he just kind of looked like he had lighter skin. It didn't look like the actual like drawing was lighter, if you know what I mean. Like obviously he does have lighter skin, but you know what I mean. But with the orange of his hair also dulled down and lighter, it helps to know that no, he doesn't have lighter skin. It's just that the picture is lighter than that picture. Yeah, I'm not very good at explaining things, but I use cell shading and that sort of like bubble highlight thing for the hair, and yeah, I'm just cleaning stuff up now and fixing that because that looked weird, so I turned that into soft shading because it didn't look good, and tidying up the outlines. I'm never too careful with digital art because I know if I make any mistakes or go out the lines I can just fix it later. And that one's done. It was a bit difficult, but I think it came out really well. It didn't take me too long, about 40 minutes. And now on to our next one. It is Kasey Golden. I love Kasey Golden's videos. I watch them all the time. I've been watching them for a while. I think I said the same thing about Lavender Town, but obviously I love all the YouTubers on this list. I think her style is really cool. It's very simple and geometric and very unique. So this one was probably the easiest to do, I think, just because her style is so unique and like geometric. Not saying that like it's super easy to draw or anything, but like you know what I mean. I had a look at how he would look with the dot eyes, but I didn't really like it, so I just went back to the round ones. And now I'm doing the line work. Now Kasey uses like very thin lines. I think the lines I used were not nearly thin enough, but she doesn't have any line weight, which was very difficult to do, especially since I'm using my finger. So, and this app doesn't have any sort of like smoothing tool for when you're like doing lines, like, you know, but yeah, I think it turned out okay, just a bit shaky. I tried dulling down the skin tone because she uses a lot of dull earthy tones, but I think it's fine just as it is. So I'm just putting that in now. I tried it with a watercolor brush, but I didn't like the texture. I just cut that bit out. And now I'm going in with a darker color for the shading. Kasey also uses cell shading, which again I'm not good at, but that's okay. I think it turned out alright. Her styles are more simple. She doesn't do as much shading as the others. It's more flat, like in a good way. I still think it's really nice and it looks really nice. But this one was probably the quickest drawing to do. It only took me like 32 minutes. I think that's because it was probably the simplest art style out of all of them. I dulled down the orange colour quite a lot, turned it into quite an earthy colour because she is quite well known for her earthy colours. She doesn't use a lot of super bright colours. She has actually been using a lot of bright colours more recently, but earthy colours is what she's known for. I've probably been watching Kasey for like 2 or 3 years now. She was one of the earlier art YouTubers that I started watching. I think the first art YouTuber I ever watched was Draw with Jazza. That was in 2017, and then I just started watching more and more, and now I pretty much just watch art YouTubers. But yeah, I don't watch Jazza anymore. I don't really like his new content. No, nothing against him, just, you know. But I still watch Kasey. She's really good, and yeah, I like her videos. She's very creative, and her style's really cute. I started shading the hair how I would have done it because I kind of forgot that I was supposed to be like self shading, but I fixed that. So yeah, and that one's done. I'm quite happy with it. It's probably one of my favorites that I did. I think it's the one that looks the most like similar to the actual YouTuber. And now is Drawing with Waffles. She's like my all-time favorite YouTuber. I've watched every single one of her videos like 10 times, and I love her style so much, and she's just like probably my biggest inspiration when it comes to art. Well, one of them. I have a lot of art inspirations, but oh, I hate the way the drawing came out. It doesn't look like her style at all, and I feel so bad because she's my favorite out of all of the YouTubers that I have on this list, but the drawing is my least favorite. It just did not come out well at all. I really don't like it, but you'll see. The sketch and line art aren't too bad. You'll see. Her art style is actually like very difficult to imitate. I don't know what it is about it, but I've tried to imitate it before and now obviously, and yeah, it's just quite difficult, so I don't know. I like the way the ears came out though. That's one positive. The ears look quite good. I did the line art coloured, kind of imitate what she did in the reference at the top. You can't really see it, but the line art is coloured, and I did that shading thing underneath the neck. Now I'm doing the colours, and this is where everything goes south. It already wasn't great, but the colours just, yeah. I'm not proud of that shading. It's quite bad. But that's okay, not everything's perfect. I tried to do more simple shading, like quite flat, just with some blush and stuff. Because that's what she does more in her videos. But I just feel so bad because it looks so bad, and I feel like it's like insulting to her. I know it like isn't, and if she saw this, which she's probably never gonna see this, let's be honest, but I feel like she would just be offended because it did not go out well, but that's okay. I practiced using gradients and stuff to shade the eyes, but it didn't really work. I tried to do a gradient on the hair, but I think the colour that I used for the hair is too similar to the skin tone, so it didn't really work. But I was able to do it on the eyebrows because they're filled in on the line art layer, so it didn't mix with the skin. See, there I am doing a gradient, being all fancy, and that's that done. Yeah, that one's my least favourite. So next up is Lucid Nema. I started watching her more recently, but I really like her videos. Obviously, that's why she's in this video. It was difficult to find a good reference, but I managed to find one reference of a male character and then a different reference of a straight-on character, because she doesn't draw men or straight-on faces very much, but that's okay. I managed to find some references. I'm quite happy with how this one turned out. The colours didn't turn out that great, but I really like the line art. I love Lucid Nema's videos to watch. They're really good to put on while I'm drawing. They're very relaxing, very chill. Yeah, I really like them, and I like that she uses cheap art supplies, and her art style is really cute. It's kind of more like anime inspired than the other ones, but it's not really anime. It's more unique than that, but it is very nice and pretty, and I quite like it. So there's me doing the eyebrows. I'm mainly copying the reference to the left, but the ones at the top are of a male character, so they came in handy as well. I really like the way that Nema does line art. She uses a lot of line weight, but also quite thin lines, and I think it looks really nice. My one doesn't look exactly like hers, but I think it's alright. And now I'm colouring the hair. She only had one character I could find that had curly hair, so I mainly copied that. Most of the people she draws have straight hair, but I did this for the skin at first, blending in the highlights, but I ended up changing that because it didn't really look very good. I really like how the line out turned out on this one. I think he looks a bit feminine, and I think I did the cheeks too round, but I think it's alright. He still looks good, I think. And now I'm doing the shading. She does a mixture of, she does cell shading, but it's more soft cell shading. I'm first doing it with just a dark brown, but I changed that to an overlay layer with a light purple. It was on multiply. And because I noticed that in her drawing she uses purple to shade, so that's what I did as well. I don't really like how I did the shading on the cheek. He looks kind of fat and old, but that's okay, I suppose. I don't think it looks too bad in the end when I fix the skin. So yeah, now I'm colouring in the eyes. I actually picked the colour of the eye whites directly from the image to shade it the way she did. Oh, that's the blush, yeah. That's gone now. So I really like the way she colours in eyes. I think it looks very pretty. And I did the highlights. Oh, that's fast. Oh, gee. Yeah, fixing up the edges because I always go outside the lines. And I think eyebrows, and then I think I fixed the skin soon. Yeah, that's where I fixed the skin. I just paint bucketed it, and I had to fix the eyebrows because the paint bucket is not great on this app. So now I'm just adding some cell shaded highlights and blending out the edges a bit to have more of a soft look. And just shading the hair, colouring it in. I'm using quite a light colour to add cell shading. The hair was quite difficult because she draws hair very differently to how I do it, more in an anime sort of way with the cell shading and stuff. But yeah, that one's done. I really like how it turned out. It's not the best, I don't think, but yeah, it's good. And now is Mariah Elizabeth. This is the last one. She doesn't draw humans very often. She draws more animals and food. So I had to look at some fairly old videos to get human drawings, but yeah. I love the way that she uses coloured pencils. I love the way she colours and renders out her drawings. I think she's so talented. She's really good at shading and stuff. This one ended up looking kind of creepy. Like, he looks kind of like an alien. I got rid of those bottom eyelids because, yeah, they look ugly. But I don't think I captured the way she does line art. So she does line art really well. I really like it. With lots of line weight and stuff. I love the way she does line art. I think it's so good. But yeah, I don't think I really captured that in this drawing. I tried to, but yeah. I used a pencil textured brush to do the shading to hopefully make it look like it was with coloured pencils, because she does like zero digital art. She uses coloured pencils or watercolours. I think she mainly uses paint actually, but anyway, but didn't really look good. So this one, I think, aside from drawing with waffles, probably looks the least like the style I'm trying to imitate. It, yeah, doesn't really look like her style. I think the proportions are there, but the colouring style and the line art doesn't really look like how she does it. But I don't think it looks bad. The drawing with waffles one, I think, actually looked really bad, but this one, it looks alright. Yeah, there I am trying to add some more line weight to it, but not successful. I made the colours very bright for this one because she's very into like rainbows and bright colours. I mean, fair enough, who isn't? Crazy people, that's who. Just kidding, but yeah, doing the eyes now. I think I maybe made it a bit too bright, like I'd put the saturation all the way up, so maybe that was a bit too bright, but I don't know. The shading and details, this is not nearly as detailed or nicely like shaded or rendered as much as her artworks normally are, and that's for a couple reasons. One, I think I would be able to imitate her style a lot better. Sorry, my voice just cracked. I think I'd be able to imitate her style a lot better if I was using colored pencils, but I wanted to keep it all digital to keep it consistent. Yeah, the hair looks bad. Just don't even... I know, it looks bad. Yeah, I didn't put that much time into that because it was the last one I just kind of wanted to get done. At this point, I was still planning to do 3 more, but yeah, I decided that maybe I should just do 6, so I'm rearranging them on the page, and that's done. Hope you enjoyed.